Hello, my name is Chase. I run this YouTube channel here called Uppercase Chase 1, and I have actually been on YouTube since 2006. And you're probably wondering why you got sent this video. A couple of people online have asked me to make a video where friends and family members of someone, that they love comes out as trans can actually understand what this whole trans thing is like, and maybe just shed some light on, what's actually happening. Although I do believe that each individual should speak to their parents and to their friends and family, separately and not bring in outside sources like this, I do understand that some people just don't know how to explain it, and might be a bit young and might not just understand that trans people are real and that, we do go through daily struggles, but, we're just regular people. There's just something that happened, and we're just trying to deal with it. So what happened? I was female assigned at birth based on my genitals, like 99.99999% of the population, and based on that, I was socialized female throughout my whole life. I never felt right in my body. There was always something that was wrong. I always felt like my gender expression and my gender my inner gender was never reflecting of who I was actually on the outside. And then I found out what trans people were, and the biggest light bulb clicked in my head, and I never ever felt so complete within myself, ever. So basically, being trans, or transsexual, or transgender, whichever term you prefer at the moment, means that you were assigned a sex at birth, but your gender does not match the sex, because gender and sex are two completely different things. And for individuals whose gender and sex do match are called cis people. It's not a derogatory term, it's literally just the opposite of trans. That's it. So now that we just have, the basic elements put out, I want you to understand that being trans is a hard life, but it's not something that you can persuade somebody out of. You can't tell somebody, it's a hard life, maybe you shouldn't choose this for yourself. It's really not something that we choose. Being trans is just who we are. Although we do choose to pursue transition, and choose to, maybe go on hormones or maybe have surgery depending on your wants and needs, that choice is very difficult to make if you're not, if you're not being supported by the ones that love you and the ones that you love. And that's why I just wanted to make this quick video, because lots of people have asked me to make it. Lots of parents and friends, when they hear that their loved one is trans, they either don't understand it, or they're very confused, or they're angry, and a lot of those feelings are really tied into them just not understanding what being trans is about. So what I do here on YouTube is try to explain the trans life and just show you that I literally just live life. I have a big bookcase behind me because I'm a student. I'm doing my master's next year. I'm very smart. I love cats. I have a girlfriend. I live in an apartment. It's not the worst life you could ever dream of. It's something that I had to do for myself in order to be myself. Before this, I was shy. I was reserved. I had friends, but I didn't really want to hang out with anybody. I didn't exceed in school, and ever since I started to transition and actually find out truly in myself and bring out who I am to everyone else, I've had a much social life. My grades have skyrocketed. I mean, I'm in the honors program right now. I would have never saw that happening if I was in high school. I have a job, I'm just a person. And that's just the purpose of my life, is just to live. And that's a lot of trans people's, thinking. I just want to live. We're not trying to make it hard on us or hard on you, even though, you might think that this affects you as well. And it absolutely does. Our transitions absolutely affects the people that surround us, because you have to adjust as well. And it might take some time, but if you're there to support the person, and you're trying, that's really all that matters. My dad has been supporting me since the beginning, yet still struggles with my name, and it's been about 5 years. You know what? It's my dad. I know that he's trying, and I'm not going to rush him. So at least I know he's trying, and that's really all that we care about, that we know that you're there for us. So there are some stereotypes perpetuated by the media that I maybe wanted to cover at the end of this video right now, just so that you can understand a couple of things. Now, I did say that gender and sex are two different things. So my gender is male, and my sex is now male because I've transitioned. Don't use the term sex change. Not many people use that term often anymore, and it's kind of derogatory. Don't use the T word. Lots of things as well. Sexuality is completely different. Let's say the person that referred you to this video is female and they want to transition to male. When they were female, they liked men. So when they're male, they're going to be a gay man. Or if their sexuality expands and they become more comfortable with themselves, then they might like more people, but that's fine. I'm just trying to let you understand that sexuality is really something completely different. I identified as a lesbian before transitioning, and now I date women. So it's not like, oh, what's the point in transitioning if you're just going to date men? It has nothing to do with that. It's not that I want to be a gay man, it's just I'm a man who likes men. And I loved men my whole life, you know? It's a different experience. I really hope you're understanding this. I'm sorry if you're not. So usually the most common trans narrative out there that I've heard from my friends, and I'm very connected to this community, so I hear many narratives, is that the first step in transition is actually coming out or going to see a therapist. Now, the therapist does need to diagnose you with gender dysphoria, which is in the DSM-5, I believe. It used to be called gender identity disorder, but the negative connotations with that, it was changed more to gender dysphoria. Basically, what gender dysphoria means is that you have dysphoria over your gender that you present as currently. And therefore, if you have, constant gender dysphoria, then you really do need to transition in order to feel more like yourself. And there are certain types of things that you can do to alleviate this dysphoria. A lot of trans men and trans women, but I'm gonna guess that you are, being sent here by a female to male individual, because that's who I am. And I can't really speak for lots of trans women because I'm not a trans woman, but let me try to explain this to you. Many people go on hormones, and it's called testosterone. There's the injectable format, so you do inject it. It's either every week, every 2 weeks, every 10 days, or every month, depending on where you live. I do know that in the UK, it's like every month. It's very different. So there's the injectable kind, then there's also the patch kind, which is the the gel kind, which is the one that I'm on. It's a little packet here, and you just put it on your arm, and there you go. Now, there's a lot of information on YouTube about what these changes are going to do to the person's body. I'll give you the most common ones. You appear more male, you get facial hair, your body odor smells differently, you have more energy, more red blood cells, all of the fun stuff. So basically, you're seamlessly male in society. Nobody ever knows that you're trans unless you tell them. And that's basically me. I pass 100% as male in society, and cool. Not everybody does go on hormones, though, so that's just something to understand, as well as not everybody gets the surgery. Now, you're probably saying, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. There's no such thing as the surgery. I just wanted to let you know that really quickly. There's way too many surgeries to have one surgery. Lots of trans men would get a top surgery. I have had top surgery, but I've been asked to wear a t-shirt in this video just to, make it more professional so that you can understand. If you want to see results of top surgery, I have some all over my channel, so go ahead and browse through that if you'd like. Lots of men don't get top surgery, though. There's also bottom surgery options. There's two main ones, but not everyone gets those as well. There are lots of myths and misconceptions about bottom surgeries, but this is not for this video. This is basically just an introduction so that you can understand what your loved one might be going through, and who this person that you love is. And I think, first of all, that it's amazing that they came out to you and that they felt like it was time and that they could trust you with that decision, because that is probably one of the most anxiety-producing moments in somebody's life, to have to come out to their parents if they're not sure that they're going to be respectful of their identity and themselves. And two, I want to absolutely thank you for watching this video and taking the time to do this, because honestly, even if you don't agree with what's happening, you took 10 minutes to watch this video, and that might you know, might not change your mind, and that's fine, but at least now you're a little more informed about the lives that we go through. And honestly, these lives that we go through sometimes really, really suck. But I try to not go on to the more depressive side because I try to stay positive about life, and that's what I do in my videos. I like to give information, and I like to be funny and not take everything so seriously, and I think that this is important to do. But I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you ever have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me or ask the person who sent you this video. And for the other people who are watching this who don't know why I made this video, I was asked maybe 25 times to make this video by other people throughout the year, so I decided to make it now. I know that it's a lot better to give the information to your parents yourself, but sometimes having resources of somebody that does explain this to you is, you know, it's better because you feel like you can get everything out because someone else is saying it. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it was informative and that you learned something. Have a great week.